righty. Let's go ahead and call this meeting of the Mental Health Court Advisory Board to order. It's February the 5th. We have myself, I'm here. Our vice chair, I can see, is here, Honorable Hector Sanchez. Sam Lee is here for General Allen. We're grateful to have Sam. Thank you. Jonathan Cooper is here, right? I guess you should actually verbalize, that you're here. And Eric Lutton, our elected district public defender, is with us, right, Eric?
Present.
Thanks. I don't see Mr. Hammond, but I think we do have a quorum, right?
We do.
All right. Has everyone reviewed the minutes from the last meeting at least adequately to vote on them? And may I have a motion to approve, perhaps?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It looks like it passes that the minutes from November 14th's meeting are approved. Next for our agenda, Coordinator Smith will give us an update on how the program is doing. Vince, looking forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, thank you, Judge. Just a real quick, just a brief annual report. I will be publishing this on our website. So if you notice anything in particular that we shouldn't publish, feel free to advise. Big year for us. First wave of graduates, basically. I think I had a graduate in December prior, but we're up to 9 graduations, and it's to see some of those celebrations. It reminds us why we do it. We've spent over $100,000 now through grant funding on our people total. That's not just last year, but. Partnered with Whole and Health, had a nice little luncheon sponsored by them back in November. Wes Huddleston spoke, that was really nice. And we started compiling some data. So that's what we've got going on this year. A couple achievements, 9 graduations, almost 4,000 in restitution payments, over 700 community service hours, and 11 total driver's licenses obtained. And some of those took a lot of work for everyone, including the participants. So 11 driver's licenses doesn't sound like much, but believe me, there was a lot of work that went into that. A lot of graduates, a lot of good moments this past year. Got a couple with Judge Davis in there. Really appreciate him stepping in when Judge Cerny unfortunately stepped out for injury. But it's been a good year. A few just real quick numbers. We've got 16 active, 29 total withdrawn referrals, 24 declined by the team, 13 DA declined, 37 total accepted, and 6 were discharged, 6 withdrew voluntarily, and 9 have graduated. So recidivism rate, again, a small sample size, but out of the 9, we've only had 1 that's been reincarcerated. So that's 11%. We'll take that if we can keep that going. 54% recidivism rate for non-graduates. That tracks. We're at about a 45% graduation rate right now. And I don't want to jinx it, but I would anticipate we're going to have a good round of graduates this year, so that graduation rate will go up over 50%. I believe the state has quoted us as wanting to be around 54% graduation rate. So I think we'll definitely hit that. Housing outcomes, housing at exit, we've gone from 14% to 52%. Average time in the program is about 16 months for graduates, 10 for non. And so yeah, pretty good stuff. Again, we're not all about numbers. It's really hard to put numbers when you're talking about mental health, because sometimes our folks just don't do things that make a lot of sense. So it's hard to put a number on some of it, but I think compiling that data will be a good thing for us moving forward. The special assistance breakdown, not a whole lot to glean from that other than we spend a majority. You can see it's about 50 to 56% on housing. That's where we're at with that. I think it's pretty consistent year to year. Like I said, we got a Season of Gratitude luncheon. I thought it was really successful. I wasn't expecting the emotional impact of Wes' speech, but I was really appreciative of him. So, but yeah, and then a few proposals for our next meeting, May, August, November. I'll just run those by you guys, but those are dates based on conferences, judges' conferences. Hopefully those can work out, but I haven't set anything in stone yet. So last year we had already reserved this room for those 4 dates, basically over a year in advance. So I'm trying to be a little bit more flexible with everyone to make sure y'all's schedules line up as best you can. So
These we've shifted to Thursdays on these, haven't we, as opposed to Friday?
yeah, Friday was not a popular day. So yeah, any questions?
So are you going to make those numbers and statistics available in a form that we'll be able to review after this meeting?
Sure, I can send you the slides
Yeah.
yeah,
That'd be great.
absolutely.
Just
Yeah.
difficult to read
Yeah,
from here, yeah.
You're getting older.
Aha. My
it's
eyesight
bigger
is-
behind you.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, and it kind of cuts off on that one for some reason.
So I'm not sure if when you indicated that you wanted, if there was any feedback, if this is the proper venue for that, or if this is a discussion for after the meeting?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, whatever. I'm open to anything. So if you'd rather hold it to after the meeting, that's fine.
That's fine. I'll hold it till after the meeting.
Or if you just want to hijack it, go ahead. Just lead immunity, go ahead. I'm kidding. All right. Next, I think that Vince is going to help us with a little update on the approved budget proposal. So
Yeah, and I've got that
thrill us with numbers.
I mean, it's the same number. Unfortunately, we're getting the same amount from the state. We'd love to get more, and hopefully we can in the future. But it's the same 236. Now that we've got a few years under us, we're kind of honing in on exactly where that money's going, how it's being spent. Opal, I was actually just looking back. Opal has just hit her year mark with us this week, so that's something to celebrate. She's still here. But I mean, health insurance is expensive, and that's about the biggest jump that we see is she's providing for a family. So, but we just move a little bit from the special assistance fund. We've spent, I think, just about every cent in the. We spent every cent that we had this past year. So hopefully we can do the same because we don't want to let any money go to waste. So anything extra we use on our people as best we can. So
In this context, which is to be distinguished from Recovery Court or Veterans Treatment Court, we are authorized by law and authorized under this grant from the state to provide direct assistance to the participants, and this context lends itself to that. I think our participants receive, monetary help from us, not in the form of just like handing out cash. And we've discussed this before, but sometimes they need help with a deposit at a halfway house, or they need help with a deposit to get into a apartment or something like that. And of course, they often need transportation help, and we provide that. And I'm really kind of proud of that. This is a cohort that is actually a good way to assist them. And it's an appropriate amount that we budgeted for that, and we do spend that to help them, and they need it. The other thing that is, I just want to mention about budgetary concerns, Vince's salary does not come out of this 236. And so we should be mindful of that, and his salary being paid for by excess funds from the clerk's office is something that probably should not be permanent. Let me just say it that way. And I don't think it was anticipated that it would be permanent. So we may need to find another way to fund that. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn. I'm just going to go ahead and get that stuff out there. Do we have a motion to approve the budget proposal for fiscal year 2027?
I move to approve the budget.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that passes.
I'm going to abstain on that. I don't feel like there's been enough discussion on this, and I didn't get enough opportunity to review this, so I'm not prepared to vote on this right now.
One abstention. Do we still have enough votes for this to carry? Or should we postpone this a little bit, maybe vote by email within the next week or so?
Why don't we postpone it, Your Honor? Give Mr. Cooper a chance to review it appropriately and answer it.
And which budget are we looking at here? So we've got the grant budget, and in the past, I know we've had an opportunity to review this before it was submitted. And if we had a copy before today, I just missed it, and I apologize. But what exactly are we voting on? There's a journal entry here. Is that the budget that we're voting on? What exactly are we voting to approve?
The journal entry is just to show exactly where the money is allocated on each account. And I thought it was more accurate because obviously 2026 is still happening,
Right.
to pull from the totals for 2025 just to compare what we're asking for 2027 and how that compares from what was actually spent in 2025. That's what the journal entries were. The budget is actually the 7 or 8 page thing that's what we
So
get from the state.
so basically, the budget that we submitted for grant approval is what we are, our operating budget.
You're looking at it right then,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's the 236,000?
I mean, it looks fine to me, but normally, at least in the past, we've sort of seen, if there have been any line item changes year to year, that's been fleshed out. If this is identical to, I mean, it can't be identical,
It's not identical,
yeah.
but
I guess it would be helpful to me to know, just from a policy standpoint, where you are shifting some of these line item expenses.
yeah.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm
I-
not objecting to
I know,
any
I
of
know,
it.
I know. And I can provide a different layout if you rather receive something like that. See, the state had, this was all very much of a time crunch. I sort of had to ask the state to expedite their approval because they did not get the budget to me until last week. So this has been sort of a rapid fire thing, but they very graciously did go ahead and expedite that.
What's your time constraints with respect to us approving this? Do you need this with a time certain?
Last year I needed approval from you all before I could submit it to county commission.
Okay.
So,
And you have to submit it to county commission to get it on their agenda.
right, and
Soon.
we just missed the deadline for that in February. Last year, I was able to get Drusilla to squeeze it in. So I was hoping to maybe go ahead and do that because our next meeting wouldn't be till April or May or whatever. And then we're really starting to get crunched to get it in time by the end of the fiscal year. So.
I think this board is probably capable of coming up with a finalized vote on this issue by email without an actual meeting and just kind of extend this meeting for that purpose, I guess, and call this quorum.
I'm sorry.
You guys correct me if this is wrong, but I think that Mr. Cooper should have the opportunity to review this and maybe even have a call with you about whatever items on the budget he has questions about. You'd be available for that, wouldn't you, Vince?
Absolutely.
Judge,
Well-
if I might, one concern that I have, I believe, and correct me if I'm mistaken, but I think the reason why we're meeting in this room in part is because this is required to be open to the public. And so
Yeah,
the
that's a
idea
good
that we
point.
would then sort of take the main agenda item and say, we're going to do this via email where no one can see it, I think is potentially problematic.
Yeah, I think it is too. But there's been a motion and a second, and there's been a majority vote. So, I mean, the motion has, if you're following Robert's Rules of Order, the motion has passed. So I don't know, just because I'm abstaining doesn't mean we can't go forward. I just don't feel like I can vote one way or the other.
Well, let's go ahead and allow the motion to carry because we voted, but I am happy to make myself available. And I know that Vince would be happy to talk with you further or even provide a different format if that is helpful for better understanding. I'm going to be candid with you. I place a lot of trust in Vince, and my accountant father would be perpetually disappointed, and he wouldn't even want me to admit this in public, but, I look at numbers and they start like blurring to me. I'd much prefer text, and this doesn't speak well to me. I try to absorb it. I work at it, but
Maybe-
I trust Vince isn't like spending more than we get or spending it inappropriately or absconding with it, so.
Maybe we've voted to approve this budget. And maybe just for our next meeting or for our next meeting, we can get a report that has an additional column, maybe showing where what the different numbers are for this past fiscal year, or current fiscal year, I should say. So just for informational purposes.
And for what it's worth, I mean, the number stays the same. It's just a matter of allocating it to
Right.
each account. So, I mean,
It's going to be 236 no matter how you slice
Right.
it. But
Yep.
in the past, I think this advisory board has had some voice in, or at least some oversight in the decisions that were being made of how to shift priorities. And I think, that's probably something that we ought to have a hand in.
I think this board's guidance on those decisions would be welcome, for sure. I think we've gotten that to a suitable conclusion for today's purposes then, haven't we? And good observation about this being a public meeting. Thank you for reminding me about that. All right, next, we have a proposed amendment to the existing advisory board bylaws. In our last meeting on November 14th, we talked about this, I believe, and it's on the agenda for today for a vote. The proposal is, and Vince, you can speak to this if you'd like, if you want to announce the proposal.
sure. Just proposing an amendment to Article 2, Section 1, to change the language. The advisory board shall establish a regular quarterly meeting schedule and shall in no event meet less than twice each year. So we'll schedule 4 and be required for 2. Hopefully we can get all 4, but based on availability.
I would move to approve the bylaw amendment change.
And just by way of discussion, didn't you draft it?
Yes, I did.
All in favor?
Aye.
I didn't hear any nays, so. All right, I think that one is passed or it carries. All right, and I don't suppose you all have had a chance to look at your calendars for May 21, August 20, or November 13th. Those are in fact Thursdays, and I suppose we're contemplating 3:30 again. Would that be right?
Yeah, I mean, we can be as flexible as possible. We've got staffing in court from 1:30 to 3:30. You know, I was really trying to nail you down, Judge, with your schedule, so.
Just a question for myself. On the 13th, would we hypothetically look at that as well for like a luncheon
A
like
luncheon,
last year?
Right. And I mean, ideally, if I could avoid doing another, official board meeting right before the lunch, you know, maybe, that was a hectic time. Yeah. Candidly. But,
You did well, buddy, we'll take it.
thank you. But yeah, I mean, we can meet virtually, we can do, we can explore some options on that. And these dates aren't set in stone, they just kind of,
So I
looked good.
got May 21. What was the other dates?
August 20th and November 13th.
Oh.
So I can do any of the three with this much notice. So.
I believe November the 13th is a Friday. Is that intentional?
Yes, and I apologize. Yeah, that would be like the Friday luncheon date. So if we need to do something different.
Incorporate it with Season of Gratitude lunch, yeah.
Those dates work for me.
I don't see you looking at a calendar, Judge.
I'm gonna just trust that they're good.
He's going to do it. He'll be in a special hearing.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm sorry.
They're all special.
I will not be available for the November 13th date.
Okay. Well, we can look at some other.
You got till November to pick a date that works for you.
12th
here
works.
Before you know it.
Mr. Cooper has volunteered the 12th, which probably works for many of us, I suspect. Let's review those and communicate back to Vince. Is that part something we can do without public scrutiny? Picking the dates, are we okay with that, Eric?
I think we can pick the dates, Judge.
Okay, all right, I'm just checking. All right, what else you guys want to talk about?
How are things?
I think we're doing really well.
That was really open-ended, Jonathan.
No, I really appreciate all of you being here. I mean, to have buy-in from elected officials and busy attorneys, judges, it means a lot for you to be here to guide us. I'll let Jonathan do the budget next year. But no, it really does. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot for this program to have that sort of wisdom and buy-in from you all.
What are your challenges? What challenges are you facing
Oh,
besides money?
mental health.
And this is a
You know,
public-
for example, we just got a guy just recently, had a plan in place, and as soon as he gets out, torpedoes the whole thing, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to you or I, but we just got to keep trying. Really, Opal and Sabrina, you have to have a deep well of empathy. For some of our folks, it's easy, and then some, it's just like this is a challenge. But they do an amazing job, so
I appreciate they come to court too. I see both of them in court often, and they're there for the entirety of the docket until that person's called up, and we take up their matter, and they're there as support, and I really appreciate that. I think it means a lot to the participants too.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Well, and just piggybacking off your question, we've got a budget, we've been pretty much static, there's not a lot of room for growth there, and I think the judge raised a good point as far as your salary is not contained in this budget, and I'm just hoping that there's enough in this budget to make sure that you can travel and learn and keep up with your colleagues across the state. But how do we grow the budget, and what alternatives are there to maybe cover Vince's salary as part of the mental health court budget.
I suppose we would have to have some kind of brainstorming kind of thing.
Okay.
I also would respectfully suggest that we're already a significant portion of that journey or getting to that goal. We've already covered it because I can sense that the agencies who are represented here have buy-in with that as a goal. It was very gracious, and I think it was altruistically motivated for Mike Hammond to carve out a little bit of what he was going to give back to the general fund to fund Vince's salary so that it would not come out of this 236. It was understood when he did that it was to foster and promote and help this court get off the ground. It was understood that it would not be like in perpetuity. We may have to concede that Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services might be locked in at their 236 and they ain't gonna budge a dollar, which might mean that we may have to go to county finance guy, Mr. Caldwell, and/or the mayor, county mayor. So we gotta put the collective brain power of you smart people to the task. And I think that that is something that we should keep in the back of our minds, that would be an important goal. I don't know if we should set a hard, you know how when you're trying to do something productive, you're supposed to have SMART goals like measurable
Outcomes,
and
yes.
whatever the SMART stands for. But the T stands for time oriented. I don't know what kind of time frame we should hope for ourselves to be able to do that, but I think we need an alternative funding source soon.
I think that's wise. And I'm just wondering, along that vein, Vince, is when we look at some of this data in the more granular sense, because when I think about going to the commission and going to the mayor, then I also think about going to council and going to the city mayor. I'm just wondering, like, is there a way to kind of understand the how the resources get divided or utilized in the context of city cases versus county cases? I think that might just be important for us to understand. Maybe you can just kind of be proactive in quantifying some of that data, because I think if we do this, I'm thinking about the BHUC. That's a good model where it was originally some seed money that then turned into county, city, and state money later on. And I know that was one of the
great
things
thinking.
that they were thinking about or wondering is, should the city have to kick in or should they not? But I think we need to go that way. And I think it's time that we think about growing it. And I think about, I see all those pictures of Judge Cerny up there, and I remember him in Houston. I mean, he's brought us to this point, right, where we have a court that is now producing good results and can benefit, I think, a larger section of the population. I think the cohort in the beginning was somewhat limited because we had resources that could only help. We didn't have anything that was institutionalized or secure or anything like that. And I don't think we have anything like that yet, but maybe we can grow in a way that meets the needs of more of the population now that we understand it better. And you've been at the helm since the beginning and brought us a long way. So I like to think about growing.
I like to think about receiving credit for stuff other people do. Thanks, I appreciate that. Very good thinking, because I think the city is impacted, and it didn't cross my mind that maybe we should kind of make a pitch to them also. Maybe they can chip in.
Yes, sir.
And the more people involved, less likely they'll feel like, well, I'm picking up this whole thing, that kind of thing. Any other discussion about those issues? If somebody moves to adjourn, Chuck may stop talking.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hey, guys, thank you so very much. I appreciate
thank you
y'all.
all.
Thank you, Judge.